Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, fuck, I forgot to turn the record player on. The turntable on. God, how dare I call it a record player. Hey, so today I'm going to be discussing Philip Glass's album, Koyaanisqatsi, that of course is less of an independent record and more of the score that accompanied the film by him and Godfrey Reggio that was released back in the early 80s called Koyaanisqatsi. This record is one of his best known and best received albums. And I mean, I'm not even sure what I'm really supposed to say about this album at this point. I've seen this movie so many times. I've been in love with it since I was a kid. I had an old Beta player that my parents gave to me, an old Beta Max, and it came with some movies. Most of them were taped off the television. I think there's Blade Runner was on there. There was The Road Warrior. And an actual purchased copy of Koyaanisqatsi, which is wild because back then that must have cost, I don't know, like $150, because this was right when, the home video market was beginning to boom and purchasing cassettes was still a little on the pricey side. And people were just buying the blank cassettes, which were expensive enough, and they were recording movies off the television, which I'm not even sure if the U.S. Congress had declared that was legal yet, because I know that they would eventually do that because people were doing it anyways. But yeah, I have an actual, where is my copy? There it is. I've had this since I was a kid, and as you can see, it's on beta, and it's awesome, and this is how I fell in love with it. I mean, I used to watch Blade Runner quite a bit, but then I decided, why not put that movie in? I assumed for some reason that it would be like science fiction or something, but it wasn't. It was just, music and images. But it was so big and it was so sweeping and it had so much meaning that even when I was a little kid, I could see that there was something bigger happening. I didn't really get it. I didn't understand, and I certainly didn't know that the word Koyaanisqatsi meant life out of balance, even though it was on the cover and it was at the end of the movie during the definition of it. But at this point I was like 4 or 5, and technically I could read, but I wasn't reading strong enough to be able to pull off things like that. So I had no idea that the message it was trying to send was that our way of life needs to change or we're going to pollute ourselves into a really, really wet corner. And here we are in 2022, and it's more true than ever. But I suppose I'll climb down off my soapbox now about how we have to change how we treat the environment, and I'll just talk about the record, because that's what I'm here for. I love this album. I've loved this album since I was a kid. The copy that I have spinning in the background, that is not the complete one. He has since released the complete uncut score the way it is originally heard in the movie. But this is the one that I have, and this is the one that I grew up on. So this is the one that I love. Pruitt-Igoe and The Grid are my favorites. The Grid is my favorite. I think it's because it's tied into it's I can't divorce the images and the part of the movie where everything is flying so fast, and there's the television commercials and the explosions, the buildings being demoed, and the car driving, and it's just so captivating and so meaningful and the music it's a perfect marriage. It's almost like a Vangelis' score for Blade Runner. Like, it's the perfect marriage of sight and sound. And I can't get enough of those two tracks. Pruitt-Igoe, of course, takes part when they're demolishing the set of buildings that were completely abandoned. And it was, I believe, a failed housing project. And those two tracks, they just have so much weight and so much meaning for me because they've been there since I was a kid. And there's of course, because it's Philip Glass, there's such a strong sense of repeating melody that never seems to get old. I know a lot of people take issue with Glass's stuff because they feel that it repeats too much, but I've never really felt that way. I felt that the repetition was necessary in order to drive home the message that he was going for and to drive home the strength of the melody. And it's on full display with this score. Every song is a complete knockout. But again, my favorites are The Grid and Pruitt-Igoe, assuming I'm pronouncing that correctly, because I may or may not be, and if I'm not, I apologize. But yeah, Koyaanisqatsi has played such a massive part of my life, and that's why I wanted to talk about it here, because I love that movie. I can watch that movie. I have watched that movie so many times throughout the course of my life. And I've been lucky enough to catch a couple like screenings in theaters over the years. And yeah. So look, I'm going to go because there's only so much I can say. It's another instrumental record. So it's amazing. If you haven't heard of Koyaanisqatsi, check this out. You will not be disappointed. Philip Glass is a god. And yeah, so thank you so much. And don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe. And we will see you guys really soon.